This is Solving the People Puzzle, where we discuss all things talent acquisition and human resource management. Welcome back to another exciting episode here on Solving the People Puzzle. As always, bringing you valuable, insightful guests, and today is none other than Francois Sieberhagen from VKB. Francois, welcome in the Wamly studio. It's amazing to finally have you in the chair across me.
Francois, thank you so much. Long overdue.
Yes.
That's why I brought donuts for the whole team. Such a privilege and honor to be here. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to the chat.
Absolutely. It's the first time in my podcast, and I think we're on episode 57 or 58, that there's a Francois sitting across me. So I feel exceptionally honored to have another Francois join me here in the podcast studio. Francois, share with us and the listeners a bit about yourself, your career, your journey, what you're doing now, if you don't mind.
Francois, thank you so much. Well, I'm very privileged to work for the VKB Group, and I'm the head of human capital, and such a privilege to work with people on a daily basis, and just to try and position the VKB Group as the employer of choice in the agri industry, and to change lives, to live out our values and our purpose of the VKB Group. And whether you work with a task one postgrad one employee, or whether you work with a CEO, it's the same person. Sure. And that's what we try and establish at the VKB Group. I've got an amazing human capital team. Without them, I think what we've accomplished within the VKB Group would not have been possible. So that's what it's all about, and it's a calling. It's an absolute calling. It's never about you as an individual. It's about what you can do, how you can change people, and how you can assist them in reaching their full potential.
Yeah. You know, you're the second guest in a row that says that this is a calling. So I'm so glad to hear that theme is coming up more and more. You know, it's not just a profession or an accident. It really, the moment you get into it, you realize what a privilege and a calling this can be, to be in human capital, especially in the day and age that we're living in now, right?
Yeah, no, you are bombarded with different technology and things that you can use. But I think the magic is to have the balance between what we've got, the tools that we've got that we can use from a technology point of view, but then also to stick to the basics and not to lose that emotional side.
Yes, the human side.
The human side, yeah. The human of human capital.
Yeah.
And have a balance. I just earlier, one of your staff members, we discussed technology and where technology is heading with human capital. And the example that I gave him was that just never lose the human side of it, never lose the balance of the personal touch in something. And I think the example was, we were so fortunate to pay bonuses to employees after the F25 financial year. And my team was quite cross with me because I said, well, we're going old school. We're going to print bonus letters. We're not we're not going to go the technology route here. We're going back to old school, back to basics. And what a difference that made.
Wow.
Just to have that personal touch and give someone a bonus letter in their hand. Sure. And just say, thank you so much. You are appreciated. You are a part of a world-class team, and without you, this was definitely not possible. So sending that on an email or receiving a incentive letter on your cell phone is amazing, but
not the same impact.
Never lose that personal touch.
Yeah. Francois, I want to take you back. 3 things. Firstly, Agri, human capital, technology, and attracting talent. So, as you know, the podcast is all about solving the people puzzle. And the listeners are HR practitioners, execs, business owners. And our listeners tune in to understand, you know, what can they learn from the guests? Where can they feel that they're on the right track, or where can they pick up something and implement it the exact next day? But I would love to unpack in our conversation today how to attract talent from your perspective, or attracting talent, the combination of technology And is it difficult being in the agri industry? Because I'm not sure if everybody fully comprehends what the agricultural industry is in terms of likeness and indifference.
Well, let's start with Agri itself. Agri is so innovative. And I actually stopped doing career days because everyone think that they need a farm to work for the VKB Group, or my dad, or somewhere down the line, someone was supposed to have a farm, and you need to study BC Agri.
Yes.
Then you can work for the VKB
And then if you
Group.
gooi in a valley and a two-tone pant, then
Yeah,
maybe that gets you further.
Exactly. But it's so innovative. It is so evolved, especially from an agri perspective. Something that we are starting to do now is moving away from career days and rather have open days. Just absolutely your own open day.
Yeah.
Just changing and thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
And just to get back to your question regarding the talent attraction. You need to put your brand out there. So it's a lot about brand awareness. Obviously, working hand in hand with your marketing team, your communications team, and then for our team, it's all about having the best experience. Putting VKB out there to be the employer of choice within the agri industry, and it's small things. I think just. Last week, I complimented also a company in the food producing industry on a talent advert.
Okay.
That caught my eye.
Okay.
Obviously, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
My
You're not
blood,
in the market. Let's just put it out there.
my blood is green, VKB. But I complimented them on it. Caught my eye. The colors they used, how they positioned the advertisement. It's getting very technical.
Yes.
And I think the difference is everyone recruits exactly the same. So you need to be very clever. You need to be very out of the box thinking when you do your talent acquisition. And I think Agri is definitely starting to step up on the way they do their advertisement, especially from a VKB side. A lot of things have changed on that, and it's putting your brand out there. Because I think in the past, the perception was almost like you're doing someone a favor, but it has changed now.
Yeah. The consumer has a choice.
10, 15 years ago, how many choices of vehicles did you have?
Yes.
Well, exactly the same now with companies. So you need to be the best. You need to recruit different. And that's how you're going to attract people and attract the right people. And remember, it's important to attract the right people, people that fit your culture and obviously your values as well. And I always give credit to someone that I follow that I think is so inspirational in the human capital world is Patrick Lencioni on the ideal team players, where he talks about A-team players and potential A-team players.
Yes.
Potential A-team players, obviously your bomb squad, if you look at the box, your B-team, C-team, and then your BC team players.
Yeah.
So you need to put yourself in a position to be the best in what you do when you're attracting that talent.
Yeah.
And the competition for those A-team players and even the potential A-team players are getting very tough.
100%.
And the agri industry is not that big. So the pond that everyone is fishing out is quite small. So I think there's a talent war, especially in the agri industry. So you need to be absolutely on top of your game.
Silo managers, branch managers, retail branch managers, all in demand.
How many silos is there in South Africa?
Correct.
So exactly, you need to get the best.
I want to take you back, Francois. You mentioned something that caught my attention, and we've been having a lot of conversations. I'm reading up a lot about this concept of brand, being present, standing out, catching the eye. So let's assume we get that right, and we do that right. I do now have the attention. How do we now ensure that we keep the attention? And you don't have to share necessarily anything from how VKB does it, but your experience, because you've been around the block. How do we keep candidates engaged in the attraction journey and the recruitment or application journey from your perspective?
Well, you need to stay relevant. You need to know exactly what's going on in the world of work. And just to go back to where we started, I think that's one of the things why I like being in the academics, because that just puts you in a position where you need to do research, reading, basically on a monthly. Or leaders are readers.
Yes,
that's the one thing that we try and make part of our whole learning culture at the VKB Group. And so you need to stay on top of your game. And just to keep everyone interested is, I think you need to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And looking at the values of the VKB Group, I think it needs to resonate with your current employees, but then also with your future employees, and building that potential talent pipeline that your talent acquisition team is supposed to do. So I think too many companies just have values for the sake of having values, and they think they've got a great culture. But do they really have a great culture, and do they measure it? And to get back to your question is, when you get in a position where you make your values live. Again, Patrick Lencioni, the ideal team player, he talks about humble, hungry, and smart. We actually adopted that as our VKB values, and we included two more, being bold and being a team player. I think a lot of companies have values like nothing wrong with that. Integrity.
Respect. Collaboration.
I'll rather say at this company we will always be honest. Than to say integrity. So I think if candidates resonate with your values, and it's something that is driven from top down and left from your CEO all the way down to the lady making the most wonderful coffee for you. That will make your brand attractive. And be real. Always be real. I think if you say this is our values and we don't live it, especially from an exco level, people are smart. People are intelligent. They look at your company. They know people in your company, and you're going to lose them, unfortunately. So you need to spend a lot of time on the experience, the total employee life journey. And I think that's where a lot of companies miss it, because they think, I'm going to start with this experience the day you start here. But actually starts long before then. You need to provide a world-class experience for each candidate that applies for a job.
Even the ones who are unsuccessful.
I think even more so them, because they become ambassadors. If they are at a social event and they hear someone say something about VKB, I'd like them to tell them, listen, I've been there for an interview, and it was the most pleasant, world-class experience I've ever had.
Wow.
They gave me my psychometric results. I had a 1-on-1. I actually grew out of this whole experience. And please tell me, how did you manage to get into VKB? I want to learn from that, because I want to apply again. That's what I want from someone that was not successful. I want them to reapply. I want them to push harder and to learn harder and to improve themselves to be in a position to work for the VKB Group.
That's phenomenal. Francois, you mentioned a couple of things that caught my attention that I just want to double click on. So the awareness, keeping them engaged as a candidate, keeping them interested, but then also making sure that they understand what you're about, and then have them make the decision, are we aligned? Values as an example. I don't think candidates often, where would they get to know what the values of the organization is until they step into the organization on day one? And it's fascinating for me that you're discussing make that available or on display, even through the experience, the second the journey starts.
Yeah, so true. We've got our values on our career page on the website. I think through this whole amazing journey with the merger with the GWK company, we did a lot of communication and brand marketing on social media. We don't want that to be a secret, our
Yes.
values.
Yes. In fact, you're proud of it.
We're so proud of it.
Yes.
And we truly, truly live our values within the VKB Group. And I think it's amazing values to be humble. And to know it's not about me, it's about us. We are together making a difference. The same with hungry, work ethic. We don't tolerate mediocrity. Excellence is everything in what we do. But on the smart side, we need to focus on the behavioral side as well. Too many companies, I think, especially from a talent acquisition side, focus too much on the performance, and they forget about the behavioral competencies. And get back to Patrick Lencioni, that's a specific BC team player. It's a toxic leader, and you don't want that.
Technically proficient, but burning relationships and environments.
Exactly. So I'd like potential candidates, our potential A-team player pipeline candidates, to know exactly what the VKB Group is about. Especially on our career page, we've got so many videos on the values or regarding the values, and also how to live those values and make it part of your interview process. I think when you drive your culture, you've got your tangible things and your intangible things. So your tangible things, obviously, is your benefits, your work environment, your location.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it's amazing in the platteland. So don't be afraid to come to the platteland. It's lovely.
Yeah.
We'll never have traffic.
Yeah.
And then the intangible things is actually the one that
really
moves people and that gives them purpose.
The leadership, the culture,
the values, the purpose, the legacy. And I think for the love of the land, people hear that over the radio so often, but that's really the legacy that employees within the VKB Group wants to leave behind. And everyone thinks it's about the farm, the land. It's for the love of the country. So it's everyone applying to work at VKB, all the shareholders, all the stakeholders. So it's so much bigger. So yeah, I can continue.
I can see your passion. It's beautiful. Francois, you quickly touched on it, but I want to double click on the concept of technology. How do you see the evolvement of the technology in the talent acquisition space? And you know, where are you at in terms of deploying that, and where do you think is it going? Where do you think is it moving? What are you reading? Leaders read. Yeah.
Well, Francois, first of all, thank you for us being a partner of Wamly as well.
Of course.
So that helps a lot. And especially now with the psychometric side, the behavioral assessments, that helps a lot.
Did you know Wamly recently launched fully integrated psychometric assessments in your Wamly platform? Personality, cognitive ability, learning agility, team roles, and what motivates the individual in the workspace. So if you want to know more, head over to wamly.io or reach out to any of our friendly account managers to learn more about our fully integrated assessments.
So having that in place is I think remarkable. And then also to be in a position where your whole talent acquisition process is fully automated.
That's the thing.
And that's a point that we have reached that I think is really helping and putting us as a leader there. So we make contact with, as soon as someone receives an offer, you will receive videos.
Yeah, that's cool. So onboarding starts through the tech.
It starts there. You'll receive personalized messages from your new supervisor. You'll receive phone calls, videos. But the day you start, you know everything about the VKB Group.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where a lot of talent acquisition will go in South Africa. I think I follow the Netherlands quite closely. I think they're far ahead.
Prof. Dieter Veldsman is doing amazing work there.
I know him very well, and also follow, and they do amazing work on human capital. They absolutely automated on everything. So, Francis, to answer your question, technology. I think what we've got now, you guys are working with that on a weekly basis. Basically, you need to keep ahead of that. And then to automate your whole process, you will not find a piece of paper in our department.
Except the bonus letter.
Except this year's bonus letter.
Which is a beautiful story, by the way.
I'll promise my team next year it will be, it will not be a hard copy again. But you need to be automated.
Yeah.
You need to stay ahead. You need to make it easier. You need to take away the administrative burden on your people. Put your people in a position to put their brand out there, to find the right people. Don't
waste their time.
Don't waste their time with that.
Francois, you touched on it quickly, and I just want to elaborate a bit. The onboarding videos and the personalized phone calls, that balance between I'm leveraging technology, but I'm addressing you as a human, making it personal, and then getting you ready even before you start. So 2 weeks ago, I had a conference, and one of the themes was virtual reality in onboarding. But the global theme is this extremely expensive headset that you need to put on, and now you're an avatar. And many of the guests afterwards came to me and they said, Fran, but we can't afford that. Like, how can we do that? So I'm hoping that they are listening now going, you don't need a 30K goggle to create an experience before you start so that you don't walk in blind into your new employer.
No. Well, I did go down that route and I did my research, but you need to keep that personal touch again, and the whole experience, and keeping the person engaged from the start. And I always tell the talent acquisition team, remember, I think the worst month, and you're going to have quite a few of those in your career, is your notice month.
Yes.
So from a VKB point of view, we try and go out of our way to make the notice month a great month.
Wow. How do you do that?
Well, we just interact and communicate.
Sure. So there's no ignoring.
We touch base, and basically the message to the new candidate joining the group is, okay, I realize that this is not a pleasant experience.
Sure.
I know you're not going to be invited to meetings anymore.
Sure.
Your mails are probably going to dry up a little bit. If you're happy, there's going to be a farewell party. So we truly hope they do that, because after having you in the interviews and looking forward making you part of the VKB family, we know that you deserve one. And then do basically a countdown to when they will start.
That is so cool.
And you can't do that with tech.
Yeah.
That's a personal touch.
That's all human.
That's all human.
I love that. That is so nice.
So you actually put your brand, your values, your purpose, your legacy, what the culture is all about. You already start in a month that's supposed to be not a nice experience.
Yeah.
So you get that green magic of the VKB team
Even before you start.
I love
that. Francois, I have one more question. We can go the whole day. Your passion is not necessarily in your excitement, the loudness of your voice, your arms, but I can see it in your eyes. And I want to ask, was it there your entire career, or is it something that you learned, or is it the environment you're in? Because there might be someone watching us on YouTube now going, this guy absolutely loves his company. And through everything that you're saying, I could experience the authenticity and the truthfulness, the radical honesty, our value at Wamly. Where does that come from? And how can someone get that if they want it?
Human capital can be a lonely place if you don't have support from your senior structures. And we've got a remarkable CEO, and an amazing exco team. And if you've got an exco team, and especially a CEO that is a men's, you're going to have a ball of a time in a human capital space. So I would say my best years in human capital has been the last 3 years. And that's actually where our team also started just to spread our wings and fly and make a difference. And you need a top structure that drives the people agenda. Because it's all about people.
Yes.
And
we hear that, sorry, Francois, we hear that one-liner often, right? But it doesn't always get implemented.
No, you need to live it again.
Yes.
And it's back to the culture. We've got an amazing culture. We live our values, and we then have the structures to support that. And I think so many companies, getting back to talent acquisition, so many companies are stuck with recruitment, and that's just hiring people.
Yeah.
Talent acquisition is selecting the right people. And at VKB, that's what we would like to do. Yes, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but you need to select the right people. Someone that's aligned with our amazing values, someone that's an A-team player or a potential A-team player. And again, my friend Simon Sinek just jumps into my mind now. Again, I think everyone saw his video on performance and trust. Do I trust you with my life, or do I trust you with my money and my wife? So much more important to have employees in your company with high levels of trust, that lives your values, than just have people focusing on performance. So have a very strong balance on that. And then as a human capital team, build that amazing employee journey from your notice month at your previous employer to the day you retire. And again, when you retire at the VKB Group, that last month will be the best month of your career. We'll make sure of that because you deserve that.
Yes.
You'll probably become a mentor for life as well.
Yes.
So what an amazing company to work for.
That's amazing, Francois. Thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your time here. Is there anything that you would like to leave a listener in human capital with from your perspective?
Always be real. Always care. Always have your door open. Don't stick to your diary. If someone needs help, someone wants advice, you need to be there.
Sure.
You can get up to date with your admin and your emails at night or over the weekend, but you are there to be a servant. And back to one of the legends, Horst Schulz of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Group. He said that in his hotel groups, they will be ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen.
Sure.
And for anyone listening, if you're in human capital, whether you are dealing with the CEO or whether you are dealing with that lady making that amazing cup of coffee, you are the gentleman serving a lady.
Sure.
And that will change the culture and the values, and everyone will just start living the values. That's what it's all about.
I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. Francois, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here in the studio, and travel safely back to the Platteland.
Thank you so much. Come and visit, please.
Thanks so much for listening to Solving the People Puzzle. If you enjoyed today's episode, can you please go and like, subscribe, and even leave us a 5-star rating? If you have any questions around how to create the ultimate end-to-end hiring solution, head over to wamly.io so that we can help you hire better people faster. Catch you next time.